Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923, AnyMac Home Mortgage, an equal housing lender, American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage, Lo-Fi Direct, Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number, ML 338923, Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number, MC 338923, Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 2011280L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley, and Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Vince 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with R&J. I'm Steve Risser, along here with Justin D'Onofrio. And the NFL trade deadline is happened yesterday, and there were some big moves made. First, we'll talk about the Ravens getting a Roquan Smith. This was a big move for the Ravens. It put them in it's going to put them in a really good position to win the AFC North and compete in the AFC. So this is a really, really good move for the Ravens. And in the middle of that defense, have him with Patrick Queen. This defense is going to be really, really good for the Ravens. I mean, the defense was struggling a little bit, but I think it definitely improved. And I really like this move. And the big question is are they the clear favorite to win the AFC North with this move? And I say they are.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they are as well because, they got a lot better with pass rush. I know kind of the back end of the secondary, they've been struggling a bit. But now you add a guy like this to, take some pressure off that secondary because quarterbacks have less time to throw against the Ravens. So, I like this move by the Ravens here to go out there and go get Roquan Smith. You don't have to give up a ton. So, absolutely. I think they're the favorites right now in that division.
Without question. And they are the favorites because Jamar Chase is out for 4 to 6 weeks for the Bengals. And you saw that Bengals offense against the Browns. It did not look good at all without Jamar Chase.
No, it didn't. They showed the Bengals have been kind of inconsistent all year. Kind of felt like they were getting it going the last couple of weeks. But, Monday night, kind of couple miscues there. Then, they got shut out to a Browns defense, too, that looked pretty good on paper, but they've struggled most of the year. So, absolutely. Now with Chase down, it kind of looks like maybe the Bengals the inconsistencies there kind of help out the Ravens a little bit more.
Absolutely. You look at this Ravens team now, you got one of the top quarterbacks in football, good offensive line with Ronnie Stanley back. You got a good running game. Gus Edwards is back. He's been running the ball well. And then on defense, I mean, now obviously you do have Marlon Humphrey who's had a good year. Now you add Roquan Smith to that defense with Calais Campbell. I like this team. I really like this Ravens team. And the question now is, where do you put them in the AFC? I got them third behind the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think it's wide open after 1 and 2. After the Bills and Chiefs, I have them at 3 as well. I think they still are a little bit better than Miami. I'll take Lamar over Tua, and coaching wise too. So I think the Ravens are just a little, are right now the third best team in the AFC with how they've improved and with Lamar and with all the way they're able to run the football. So Yeah, absolutely. I got the Ravens third right now in the conference.
We had another AFC team make a big move, and that was the Dolphins. They traded for Bradley Chubb yesterday, and this adds to their defense. It adds to a pretty good defense that has Xavier and Howard, that has Javon Holland. I mean, a really good pass defense. Jaden Phillips is okay too. So this is a really, really good addition for the Dolphins. And the question is, are the Dolphins a playoff team by making this move? And it's pretty obvious they definitely are.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned a minute ago, it's just the AFC. I guess in both both conferences right now, everything's kind of wide open. So yeah, I think the Dolphins right now are. In the last couple of weeks, they got found a way to win last week against Detroit. But yeah, they blitzed a ton this year, and I know because it's been their secondary's banged up and they hasn't played well. So adding another blitzer or another pass rusher helps up that rush even more. So yeah, absolutely. I think adding Chubb, that team's definitely a playoff team.
Yeah, you don't have to blitz. You don't have to play as much man coverage. As times you've seen Xavier and Howard get exposed in man coverage this year, you don't have to play as much man coverage. So this is a really, really good move for the Dolphins. And the next question is, are they Super Bowl contenders? And I think they are. I think you could argue they're a top 4, top 5 team in the AFC because with Tua as their starter, they've only lost one game. They're 5-1 with Tua as their starter.
Yeah, I think they are too. I'm still a little worried about them, but they can get the running game going a little bit. If they can kind of be less. They still are a little bit one-dimensional. But yeah, it just goes back to outside of Buffalo and Kansas City, there's a lot of teams that could, make a run at this thing. And I think Miami is good enough. And they can get into a shootout. They may not be able to outscore Kansas City or Buffalo, but they could put up some points. And I think they could definitely, they definitely are a contender to make the Super Bowl.
Probably the most shocking move yesterday is the Detroit Lions traded TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings inside the division. That was a shocking move by the Detroit Lions. I know the Lions didn't want to pay him, but that's a shocking move to trade him inside the division. And for the Vikings, they get another weapon on that offense to add to their arsenal with Dalvin Cook, with Justin Jefferson, with Adam Thielen. You got another weapon. It makes sense because Irv Smith is out 8 to 10 weeks. So this is a move that makes a lot of sense for the Vikings. And the big question is are they the second best team in the NFC because of this move? I am going to say no. I'm going to say no because I still think the 49ers are. I like the Niners defense better, and I trust their head coach more, and I think their roster is a little bit better. And we all know Kirk Cousins in big games. He is not good at all. So I think they're the third best team in the NFC, but I don't have them as the second best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd put them at number 3. I don't like their pass defense. It's 30th right now in the league. They've been good against the run, but overall, too defensively, they've really struggled. So yeah, with Cousins too in a big spot, he's shown kind of some vulnerability, and he's not played well. And again, January, obviously in the playoffs, they're gonna need some big games from him. So yeah, absolutely. I think the Niners, with the way they looked with Christian McCaffrey on Sunday, I'd probably put the Vikings third as well, right there. Right. Them and the Cowboys pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing about between them and the Cowboys is, the funny thing is, I don't know who to trust. Do I trust the Cowboys in the playoffs, or do I trust Kirk Cousins? That's a tough one there.
It is, yeah. I don't trust either coach. I don't know, McDonald or O'Connell's still kind of new, so I don't really know, how he's going to perform in January. And yeah, can you trust the Cowboys in the end of January? It's always difficult. So they've had some good teams, and they just can't find a way to win. So yeah, it's a tough one of who do you trust more in that spot.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. So we'll go to some other deals at the trade deadline. One move that kind of stood out, the Bears, they traded for Chase Claypool, gave up a second-round pick. The Bears give up a second-round pick, a team that needs guys around Justin Fields. They gave up a second-round pick for Chase Claypool. I think it's too much, but that team, as you've seen, they traded Robert Quinn. They traded Roquan Smith. They need something. They need somebody on that team. So for Justin Fields, they're probably going to sign Claypool long-term, because they wouldn't be making this trade if they're not giving up a second-round pick if they aren't. So I don't mind the move for the Bears. They did give up a lot, but Justin Fields does need a weapon.
Yeah, he does. It's better than anything they got. And, I know the Packers are on him too, so I guess that's, maybe the Packers weren't willing to give up the 2 the Bears were, and that's how they got him. But yeah, he, comes in there with Mooney. Again, it's a nice pickup for the Bears. But yeah, it's, again, they do have to give something to Justin Fields. They've tried it. It's definitely a move for the future for the Bears. Doesn't really help them. It helps a little bit in the short term, but definitely a move for their future. So yeah, I don't mind it, but yeah, giving up a second round for Claypool may be a little bit too much, but trying to beat out the Packers there.
Yeah. I think it definitely is, but you just got to get Fields a weapon. Other moves at the trade deadline: Jaguars, interesting. They traded for Calvin Ridley. That's to help them next season. And then the Bills traded for Naheem Hines. That could be helpful. That could give Josh Allen. It could give the Bills that extended running game. Josh Allen. They don't have to rely on the big play all the time. Josh Allen now can dump it off to a guy like Naheem Hines.
Yeah, absolutely. Ridley definitely helps for next year. Jacksonville, look good early, but yeah, they're starting to kind of struggle here down, the last couple weeks. So yeah, another target here for Justin Field. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, and they've done a pretty good job against some weapons around him the last couple years now. Now he's got to go out and prove it. So definitely a nice move there for Jacksonville. And yeah, with Buffalo, they really have, their running game's been so inconsistent. And yeah, Singletary and Moss aren't two big guys that catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. Hines is good too, on special teams as well. So yeah, very nice pickup there for the Bills quietly. And again, the Bills in that stadium in January, you might need to have a run game. Just sometimes the weather's just so tough to kind of throw the ball up there. Later in the year. So yeah, definitely add another guy to that depth in the running game. Definitely helps them out.
Yeah, I feel like you do need a running game too. Even with a guy with the arm of Josh Allen, you're definitely going to need a run game. So teams have to respect the run game, and Josh Allen can succeed off play action. Because you saw at times last year, especially in that game against the Patriots, their offense was not good because they didn't have a run game.
No, absolutely. They struggled that night. Yeah, with the wind, it was over 40-mile-per-hour winds that night. They definitely did struggle. And yeah, Bill took full advantage of that. So yeah, absolutely. You can't. Again, even with as much talent the Bills have, it is still hard to win, a Super Bowl being being one-dimensional. So yeah, you do need that running game going, and bringing Hines definitely helps that out.
Absolutely. Now we will get to the slate this week of NFL games, and we'll start with the game in Tampa this week. Two teams that were two of the top teams in the NFC this year, but these two teams have been struggling this year. You got the 3-4 Rams going to Tampa to face the 3-5 Bucks, and I think for this game, I think it's a close, competitive game. I think it's an ugly game. I think it's a defensive struggle. I think neither team is going to run the ball well. I think both quarterbacks are going to turn the ball over once. But in this game, I'm going to take the team with the better roster and the better quarterback, and that's why I get the Bucks snapping their 3-game losing streak, beating the Rams 21-17. But Justin, can the Rams continue to have success against the Bucks?
I don't think so. I got the Bucks as well, 21-16 this week. The Rams, they played really well in the first half against the Niners. 14-14 deadlock going into the halftime, and then they only have 43 yards of offense second half. And it just, again, I think I said it last week. I just think they're punting on this year. With Stafford not being fully healthy, the Rams, they haven't been able to run the football this year, and that's to the Buccaneers' train because they've been they haven't been as good against the run this year as we kind of thought. They've been much better against the pass, and I think that may help out Tampa Bay in this game. I think they get pressure on Stafford, and I think the Rams have a tough time moving the football against Tampa Bay.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see this being a really low-scoring game. And the big question, though, is we asked this question last week: which team has a better chance of turning things around? The Bucks, or we asked it was the Bucks or the Packers last week. I think the question is this week: which team has a better chance of turning things around? The Bucks or the Rams? It's hard for me to say, but I'm going to say the Bucks because they got the better quarterback and they got the better roster, and they're in a much easier division. So if I had to pick between the two, I would say the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm with you with the Bucks as well. That division, Atlanta's sitting there in first place right now, 4-4, and the Rams are already, they're a game and a half back of Seattle right now. Seattle's having a pretty good year. That's just such a tough division because even the Cardinals at 3-5 have some talent. I just don't think with Stafford being fully healthy this year, it definitely hurts him as well. But yeah, I do think because Brady has still been playing pretty well. I think Tampa Bay at some point kind of figures it out. Again, maybe they're not Super Bowl contenders, but I think they do find a way to go over 500 and win the division, get in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're definitely not Super Bowl contenders, especially with the loss of Shaq Barrett, and they didn't replace him at the trade deadline. I think the Bucks are a team that that will that wins the division, gets in the playoffs, and loses in the first or maybe the second round. But I don't think they win more than one playoff game.
Yeah, probably not. I don't like to usually bet against Brady in January, but I just think, right now it's too tough tough of a task. You lose Barrett, which, yeah, as you mentioned, it's such a huge loss in their defense. So, yeah, absolutely. Right now, Tampa Bay's maybe if they get some wide receivers back, maybe that offense could lead them, but it just doesn't seem like they're on the same page. And with the offensive line injuries as well, it's pretty tough to see Tampa, make Super Bowl, but it would not shock me to see Brady get there once again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just don't think their team is good enough. And listen, I still think Brady is good, but I don't think he's that top 5 quarterback that he's been for the last 2 decades. So I just don't see them winning more than one playoff game. But we'll move on to a game in Kansas City as the Titans, who have won 5 consecutive games, face the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the issue in this game is Ryan Tannehill may or may not play. And even if he does play, he probably won't be 100%. And if it's Malik Wills, they're going to have a major issue winning the game because last week Malik Wills only threw 10 passes. Derrick Henry carried them to a win against one of the worst teams in football. So I think Kansas City, I don't care who plays quarterback for the Titans, I think they win this game by 2 or 3 scores. I think Mahomes is another big day. They're coming off a bye week. We know how good Andy Reid is off bye week, so I think Mahomes throws for 2 or 3 touchdown passes. I think their defense forces a couple turnovers from Malik Wills and Ryan Tannehill. And I got the Chiefs winning the game 30-13. But Justin, can Derrick Henry run the Titans to their 6th straight win?
I don't see it this week. I got the Chiefs 31-14. Yeah, I think if you mentioned if Tannehill or Willis play, the Chiefs are going to key on Derrick Henry all day, and I think he's again we'll have some good carries. He may get his yardage. But again, they're just going to fall so far behind because I don't think their defense can be able to keep them in it like they did last week, and their special teams too made some plays. That's not going to happen this week against Kansas City. As you mentioned, too, coming off a bye, there's no way that team's kind of slowing down, Mahomes and company, because you kind of look at the teams that they played the last couple weeks at quarterbacks. They had Davis Mills last week, then they had Carson Wentz. Matt Ryan. Carson Wentz, and then, played the Colts, a week before that, and, Matt Ryan twice, actually, and then the Raiders. So they really haven't played too many great teams with great quarterbacks, and now you're going up against Mahomes. Their defense have a tough time keeping it in, and I don't think Derrick Henry is going to be able to carry them like he did last week.
No. This is the kind of game where they miss an A.J. Brown. This is the kind of game where the Titans need an explosive wide receiver. They don't have that, and that's why I think they lose it by a couple scores.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, Treylon Burks hasn't been he's been hurt, so he hasn't been able to get on the field this year, which is and Robert Woods isn't really a great number. He's not a number 1 guy anymore. He's already in his 10th year in the league, so yeah, they definitely have missed AJ Brown this year. It's been a big loss, and yeah, their offense just really hasn't been the same. They found ways to kind of win low close scoring games. That's just not going to happen this week.
We got an AFC matchup in Foxborough as the 3-4-1 Colts face the 4-4 Patriots, and I think again this is another close game, but I think the Patriots get an ugly win here, and I don't think it's because of Mac Jones. They didn't win last week because of Mac Jones. They won last week because the quarterback was absolutely terrible for the New York Jets, and I think it's going to be the same this week. I think Ellinger is going to really, really struggle against Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick feasts on young quarterbacks outside of Justin Fields. Justin Fields had a good game, but Bill Belichick usually feasts on young quarterbacks. I think he does that this week. I think Sam Ellinger throws a pick or two, but I also don't think Mac Jones, is great in this game either. I think he turns the ball over once as well. And I think this is a close, ugly, competitive, really, really close and ugly game. But I got the Pats winning 20-14 over the Colts. But Justin, can Sam Ellinger get a win in his first start get his first NFL win?
No, I don't think so. I got the Pats 20-13. I just think that defense from the Patriots is going to cause a lot of problems like they did for Zach Wilson last week. I think they're going to make Ellinger get out of the pocket, make some throws on the run. I think he probably does throw a couple interceptions in this game. And, they're not letting Jonathan Taylor run for, I think he had over 200 against us last year. It's pretty close. He ain't doing that this year. I expect them to key on him all day. I think it's going to be a tough day for him. And I think the offense does enough. I don't blame Mac for last week because their offensive line was putrid. They
gave up 6 sacks last week. Yeah, 6 sacks. Yeah, he's the guy. I would start him over Bailey Zappi, but I don't think either option's that good right now.
No, I can't blame Matt because their offensive line's so bad and he's got no time to do anything. He drops back and there's 3 guys already in his face. Again, I was hoping maybe get something at tackle, but obviously we know you can't really do that at the trade deadline. And missing David Andrews really hurt. I think he's going to play this week.
Yeah, I think he's their best offensive lineman outside of the guard. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but I think Andrews is one of their best offensive linemen.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been there for so long. He's the anchor of that offensive line. So yeah, absolutely. With him back, it's definitely going to help out Mac and that offensive line this week. Because they were lost. Trent Brown's been bad. Obviously Marcus Cannon. You see, he's a guy that's older. Just he retired last year, came out of it. Win hasn't been good. So yeah, absolutely. Their offensive line definitely will help having David Andrews back there, anchoring it.
Oh, absolutely. So we got an AFC East matchup in Buffalo as the 6-1 Bills face the 5-3 Jets. And I don't think this game's close. I really don't. I think the Jets get blown out here. I think that Zach Wilson turns the ball over again because he's going to really have to play from behind this game because the Bills are going to put up points. Wilson's going to have to play from behind. I think Josh Allen throws a couple touchdown passes. I think Wilson turns the ball over 2 or 3 times. And I got this game being a blowout. I got the Bills winning this game 31-13 over the Jets. But, Justin, can the Jets have a bounce-back performance and pull a major upset?
I don't see it. I got the Bills 28-13. I think the Patriots exposed Zach Wilson for what he is. He leaves the pocket way too early, makes too many throws on the wrong, or tries to beat Mahomes and Josh Allen. He's not that. It's not college anymore. He's really struggled, and I think they're gonna fall behind, and I think they're gonna have a rough time. Bill secondaries, looks like they're getting healthy. So, and missing Breece Hall is such a huge loss too, because I think he's their kind of big play back. I think the Bills kind of limit the explosive plays, and I don't think the Jets do much. They may keep this thing close to a half. Their defense, I think, keeps them in it for a bit. But their offense isn't going to be able to do much to help them out. It's going to be another rough day for Zach Wilson, and he's he's not going to be able to play with a lead like he has the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Breece Hall being out is a big loss because he was the offensive rookie of the year, and then last week their run game just was not good at all. So that definitely is a big injury. Breece Hall is definitely a big injury for that team because they had the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. But now with Breece Hall out, James Robinson didn't really make that big of an impact last week. So that's a huge loss. So, and it doesn't help Zach Wilson at all not having a running game.
No, it doesn't. Hey, kids, that's really what they used before the Patriot game to really get on that winning streak was their ability to run the football. With their banged up offensive line too. We're able to kind of create some holes for them. But yeah, last week the combination of that, not being able to run it, the offensive line had a tough day. And yeah, Wilson just didn't make too many smart reads, and I think the Bills are going to force him to do that again. And yeah, Hall was going to be the offensive player of the year with the way he's run the football, and Gardner's been unbelievable, and he's a rookie. Imagine in a couple of years, when he really gets in, second, third year, he gets stronger, more physical. Gardner is going to be one of the best corners in the league.
Without question, absolutely. You can't doubt that. He's definitely going to be one of the best corners in the league. But we got to move on to the Thursday night game, and we got the Eagles facing the Texans in the Thursday night game, and this is another. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think the Eagles. It's funny. This might be the lowest. This might be one of the lowest rated games of the NFL season because of what the Eagles are doing, and a lot of Philadelphia is going to be watching the Phillies game, not the Eagles game. So hey, maybe that keeps the Eagles fans out of the stadium. Gives the Texans a little bit of a home field advantage, but I don't think that matters because I think Jalen Hurts will throw for a couple touchdown passes. I think Miles Sanders will have over 100 yards on the ground. And I think Davis Mills throws a couple interceptions. And that's why I got the Eagles beating the Texans 34-13. Justin, I assume you got the same.
Yeah, I got 27-10 Eagles. I could maybe see it's cool because it's Thursday night, and maybe the Eagles are looking ahead to the Commanders next Monday night. But I think if the Eagles bring their C game, they should be able to win by 2 scores. They should be able to run all over Houston. I think they're having a rough day. Jalen Hurts has really played well. I think Houston's gonna have a rough day, and yeah, it'll be interesting how many people are actually in that stadium because Texan fans probably don't even care. They probably care more about the Astros than they do about the Texans right now. So yeah, it'll be a very interesting game how many people are in that stadium.
To me, it'll depend what the series is. If the series is 3-1 Phillies, I think you'll see more Texans fans. If it's 2-2, you might see a place that's half empty.
Yeah, 3-1. Yeah, fans, kind of going on if they saw tickets, but yeah, 2-2. Yeah, it may be, there may not be many people there. I wonder what tickets they're going for. It's probably pretty cheap to get in that building Thursday night. maybe that game turns into a blowout too. They'll turn on the World Series game on like the Jumbotron or something.
Exactly.
We give them some entertainment.
Exactly. We got an NFC North matchup in Detroit as the Packers, who have really been struggling, take on the Lions, and I think this is a really close game. I think Aaron Rodgers. This is a game where Aaron Rodgers plays well because the Lions' defense is absolutely pathetic. It could not be worse. And I do think the Lions put up points in this game because I think Jared Goff has a big game. I think Jamal Williams has a big game. I think it comes right down to the end where Aaron Rodgers has the ball in his hands and drives the Packers down for a game-winning field goal. And I get the Packers snapping their 4-game losing streak and winning 31-28. But Justin, can Goff have a big game and help snap the Lions' 5-game losing streak?
They could. I really want to take the Lions, but yeah, I'm with you. I can't trust the Lions defense to make the stop. I do have the Packers win this game 28-23. The Lions have been great at home. They're averaging 35 points a game, but they're giving up 36 points a game at home. So they just haven't been able to stop anybody. I think Goff with the running game of Swift and Williams, they do enough in this game. But yeah, I think late in the game, Rodgers has the ball. He's gonna go win the game, and I'm not sure if Goff is gonna be able to do that because Packers have been pretty good in the secondary. So I think Goff does throw a couple picks in this game. Does help out Rodgers. I think they could keep this thing close. It wouldn't shock me if they win, but I think the Lions defense once again hurts their offense this week.
We got a interconference matchup in Chicago as the Bears take on the Dolphins, and I think this is going to be a game where the Dolphins win by a couple scores. I think that I think their defense is good. I think Bradley Chubb makes an impact in this game. I think they're able to run the ball. I think Tua throws a couple touchdown passes, and I do think Fields turns the ball over once or twice, and that's why I got the Dolphins beating the Bears 28-17. But Justin, can Fields have another big game and get a win against another AFC East team?
It's going to be tough, but I think they have a chance. I got the Dolphins as well, 21-17. I was looking at the weather report, and it's supposed to be like 25-mile-per-hour wind. So
wow.
Thinking, maybe a lot in the running game, which, could help the Bears out more than the Dolphins. And I think that's why maybe they could keep this game close. But the Dolphins have been good against the run. And I think now with adding Bradley Chubb, I think Fields is going to have a tough time, even in the running game, trying to get anything going. They're going to have to create some turnovers in this game. If they can, again, I think screens may be huge for the Bears in this game. If the Dolphins do send a lot of guys, 6-7 guys, the screen plays could work in the Bears' favor in this one. But I do think they're gonna have a tough time moving the ball this week. They may keep it close, but I don't see them doing enough to get a win this week.
Vikings head to DC to face the Commanders, and I think this is a close competitive game. I think Taylor Heineke keeps it close, but I'm going to take the team that's more talented, and that's the Vikings, because I think Kirk Cousins has a good game, throws 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think Dalvin Cook has a pretty good game on the ground, too. And I think Taylor Heineke keeps him in it. But I think the Vikings D, just like last week, and they did it 3 times last week, makes that key stop at the end. That's why I got the Vikings going to 7-1 and beating the Commanders 27-20. But, Justin, can Taylor Heineke go to 3-0 as the Commander starter this year?
I don't think so either. I got the Vikings 24-20. Washington's got lucky. The Bears on Thursday Night Football, the Bears had 3 or 4 chances in the red zone that they couldn't convert against the Packers. The Packers dropped 2 or 3 interceptions in that game, could have turned that thing around. And then last week, they didn't, the Colts had a fumble, I believe, in the red zone. They had a couple opportunities too to kind of increase that lead. And then late, they struggled against Ellinger in his first start. Washington's offense doing enough. So I think this week it's Kirk Cousins, that offense. They're going to have a tough time. I think Heineke makes some plays to keep it in it. Terry McLaurin's going to have his yards in this game, but I don't think they're going to be able to outscore Kirk Cousins, that offense. I think they do enough, and I think keep it close, but just they don't have enough weapons around to win this game.
Got the Chargers traveling to Atlanta to face the Falcons, and off their bye week, I think Justin Herbert has a big game. I think he throws 2 or 3 touchdown passes, and I do think that Joey Bosa gets pressure on Marcus Mariota. I do think the Falcons do have success on the ground, but I don't think it's going to be enough because I'm going with the better quarterback here, and I got the Chargers winning the game 30-20. But Justin, can the Falcons pull the upset and stay in first place in the NFC South?
I don't think so this week. I got the Chargers as well, 27-20. If they're able to run the football, I know Patterson came back to practice today because he's off the IR today. But Tyler Algier's been running they've been getting him going well with the running game. So I think he can make some plays on the ground, keep this thing interesting against the Chargers rush defense. Mariota may make some plays, but probably makes a couple interceptions in this game. And I just, in the back end too, I know, AJ Terrell came back this week and he's practicing, but they've been so bad in that second. I'm just look at the Hail Mary they gave up at the end of
I know,
last
that's
week's
crazy.
game.
That was the PJ Walker.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for a penalty, they would have lost that game.
Yeah. That's the second time DJ Moore blew an opportunity. He was the one a couple years ago in the Egg Bowl with the on the fire hydrant as a dog.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So second time he cost his team a win. But yeah, so I think Justin Herbert should be able to do whatever he wants against this defense. Again, I could see Brandon Staley in just not having a team well prepared for this game, but I think they should do enough to win this game. I just think they're just too talented for Falcons.
We got a matchup in Cincinnati between the Panthers and the Bengals, and I think the Bengals win this game pretty easily. Even though they looked terrible last week, I think they bounced back this week. I think Joe Burrow has a big game, throws a couple touchdown passes, and I do think the Bengals defense forces a couple turnovers from PJ Walker, and I got the Bengals winning this one 27-13 over the Panthers. But Justin, can PJ Walker stay hot and help the Panthers pull the upset?
I don't think so either. I got the Bengals 23-14. Yeah, again, Walker had so many guys just running wide open all last Sunday. That's not gonna happen this week against the Bengals. I expect that team to play a lot better this week. I think it's gonna be a little bit of this, kind of what we saw a couple weeks ago for the Panthers. I think they're gonna have trouble moving the football in this game. They're gonna need their defense to kind of help them out in this game. Make a couple turnovers for him, but the Panthers don't have the firepower to keep up with Joe Burrow and all that offense. Because as you mentioned, that offense is going to bounce back this week, and they should put up some points.
We got an AFC matchup in Jacksonville as the Raiders go to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. And I think this is a close competitive game, but the Jaguars are going to do what the Jaguars do, lose another close game. And I got the Raiders beating the Jaguars 27-24. But Justin, can Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence help the Jaguars snap their 5-game losing streak?
I think they do. I got the Jags 26-23. I've never seen a team off a bye be so unprepared like the Raiders were on Sunday. That was
pathetic. That was pathetic.
That was probably one of the worst performances I've seen. McDaniels is just trying to force his offense onto that team. I think, look what Nick Sirianni's been doing with the Eagles. That he's fit his offensive fit around his quarterback and that team. And McDaniels doesn't seem like he's doing that with this team. I think Peterson does Doug Peterson coaches, I think the Raiders are a team that finds a way to lose. I think Lawrence plays better this week. I think ETN makes some big plays out of the backfield. And I think the Jags find a way to win this game. I don't like the Raiders the way they're playing. I know they're staying in Florida this week, as they were in New Orleans last week. I'll take the Jaguars. I wanted to just, I don't trust either team down, late in the game, but I'll take the Jaguars to find a way at home to get a win.
We got an NFC West matchup in Arizona. It's the Seahawks at Arizona face the Cardinals. You got to give the Seahawks credit. They've been playing really, really well. You picked them last week against the Giants. They've been playing really well, even defensively. The last 3 weeks, the Seahawks defensively have definitely improved. But in this game, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. The Cardinals' offense has definitely played better since DeAndre Hopkins has gotten back in the lineup. He had a really big game last week and a great catch. I think this is a close, competitive game, but I'm going to take the team. Geno Smith is playing really well. I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback, and that's why I got the Cardinals winning a close one over the Seahawks, 28-24. But can Geno Smith continue his hot play and keep the Seahawks in first place in the NFC West?
I think they could, but I got the Cardinals as well, 24-21. I think, that offense at some point, it's kind of cool down at some point, you would think. But, yeah, they've been on a roll. I think they do make some plays this week to Lockett and Metcalf. But I think, as you mentioned, Hopkins coming back has been a big difference for that offense. They've looked really, really good. I know this is usually right around the time where Cliff Kingsbury does his magic and they start to really fall towards the end of the year. But I think at home this week, they do find a win. They do find a way to win this week, because if they want any chance of kind of competing in that division, stay with it, stay in like playoff contention, or give themselves a chance. They got to win this game. And I think they find a way to knock off Seattle this week.
We got an interconference matchup on Monday Night Football in New Orleans as the Ravens face off with the Saints. And I think this is a game where the Ravens win. I think they get the running game going. I think Lamar is a big game. And I do think they force a couple turnovers off whoever plays quarterback for the Saints, Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston. You saw Andy Dalton against the Cardinals. He threw a couple picks, but he did play well last week. But the Raiders were so bad. It's not hard to win that game. But yeah, I think this is a close competitive game, but I think the Ravens pull away in the fourth quarter, and that's why I get the Ravens going to 6-3, beating the Saints 27-17. But Justin, can Kamara carry the Saints to their second straight win?
I think it to be difficult. I get the Ravens getting this one, 27-21. I don't think he's gonna have as easy as a time catching the football out of the backfield like he did last week, and even running. He may have, he's gonna have some success in this game. But I just don't think it's been enough. I think the Ravens do force some interceptions from whoever plays quarterback in this game. I think the Ravens do a good job stopping the run. If the Saints are able to, really get that run game going and able to use play action and kind of take advantage of that secondary, then I think the Saints could win this game. I'm just not sure if they'll be able to do it because I think Harbaugh's going to, stop the run first in this game. And I think the Ravens find a way to do enough on the road on Monday night.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game Monday night between those two teams. But that's going to wrap it up on Sports Talk with R&J. But we're going to be back very, very soon in about 5 minutes to be talking about Steve Nash and the Nets parting ways. The Phillies going up 2-1 on the Astros, and the first college football playoff rankings getting released. So make sure you tune in for that.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group, and here at CMG we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men, and great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.